It's been over 24 hours now since the US and Israel launched their joint strikes against the Iranian regime, which has resulted in the death of the Ayatollah and dozens of other senior officials. And breaking in the last few moments, Iranian media has claimed that Mojtaba Khamenei, son of deceased Ayatollah Khamenei, was killed with his father in yesterday's Israeli strike. After the supreme leader's death was confirmed, Mojtaba Khamenei was seen as a possible successor to his father. We are still awaiting independent verification of those claims. Iran has unleashed a wave of missile and drone attacks across the region, striking American allies and US military targets in Dubai, Doha, Manami and Kuwait City. Earlier today, 3 US service members were confirmed killed and 5 seriously wounded as part of Trump's military action against Iran. US Central Command said in the first confirmation of American casualties. It comes as President Donald Trump has claimed US forces have destroyed and sunk 9 Iranian naval vessels, including what he described as several large and significant ships. Last night, scenes of jubilation filled the streets of Tehran after an end to the reign of the man who has ruled Iran with an iron fist for decades. Well, we're going to get the latest now from GBNews reporter Charlie Peters.
Let's start with the latest news as it relates to the United Kingdom, Josh, because 76,000 British nationals have registered their place inside the region today. That's what we're hearing from the Foreign Office, majority of those in the UAE. And it comes as the Foreign Office, working with the Ministry of Defence, is considering all manner of plans as a potential evacuation route for those British nationals. And the pictures you're seeing on your screen are the latest we've had from the IDF as they continue their airstrikes in Iran. They've said they've now dropped over 2,000 munitions. Over 700 sorties have been involved in those strikes. And that comes amid the RAF's first defensive involvement in Qatar today, with a fighter jet Typhoon intercepting an Iranian drone that was heading towards the area of Qatar, where there is a joint UK-US airbase. So the RAF acting in a defensive posture today. We've also had an update from Iraqi media. That's fresh pictures of Iraq there, with several Shiite and Iranian-linked paramilitary fighters being killed in airstrikes as operations continue throughout the region. We can also bring you an update from CENTCOM, the US Central Command, that is the area that covers the Middle East and West Asia. They flew 4 B-2 bombers from the US and dropped dozens of 2,000-pound bombs in underground ballistic missile sites. The pictures on your screen now are of those bombers departing from the continental United States, repeating a mission they conducted in June of last year for those strikes, those bunker-busting bombs landing on the Iranian nuclear facility. So 2,000 munitions, 700 sorties, and just in the last few moments, Josh, we've had more footage sent in to us by the Israeli Air Force. They've completed what they said are dozens of strikes against the Iranian terror regime's ballistic missile array and defense systems. They said this is a continuation of Operation Roaring Lion. It's being done in order to minimize fire towards the state of Israel and also to continue to degrade the Iranian terrorist regime's ballistic missile array. They said there's been over 30 strikes against that missile array system and also those aerial defense systems. And Josh, to close out, I'll finish with the update that you brought there as well, that Khamenei's son, Mojtaba Khamenei, seen by many in Iran as the more influential of his sons, and indeed one of his potential successors, has reportedly been eliminated, according to Iranian media. This is of great significance because the major risks could be significantly lowered here. Power could now pass to a new part of the Iranian network that has an opportunity now to deviate away from the Ayatollah's policy in a way that Mojtaba would not have done. And we have heard from Ali Larijani, who is Iran's top national security official. He's announced that an interim committee would run the country while they seek a successor. He's committed to hitting back against Israeli and American targets with, quote, a force they have never experienced before. With the Ayatollah's son dead and this interim committee being formed, who would want to be an Iranian commander now. Earlier today, President Trump said that 48 leaders have been killed since the start of that operation, a figure that is set to rise amid ongoing airstrikes. Speaking of which, this is now live pictures we can bring you of Tel Aviv. It was reported in the last hour or so, Josh, that there has been a fresh set of missile strikes sent in from Iran towards northern Israel and also central Israel. Being told now that there was a strike just intercepted. We've just missed that, but we'll bring you a replay of that shortly. So the Iron Dome defensive system intercepting those strikes as we speak now.
Thank you very much, Charlie, for that. Well, joining me now here in the studio, we have the Iranian activist, Nihat Ghorbrani, and the Iranian British human rights activist, Lily Mu. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for our two guests here who have been at the very forefront of raising awareness of what has been going on in Iran and under the regime, and now hopefully with the freedom of the Iranian people. We're seeing now some live footage, I believe, from Tel Aviv. What I have understood is people who have died over the last 24 hours. Nihat, how do you feel about Israel's involvement? Because I think what a lot of people don't understand is how closely connected the Iranian people are with the Israeli people. Because I think a lot of people who don't understand what's going on in the region are shocked when they see the real Iranian flag flying alongside the Israeli flag.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for having me. And I feel I'm happiest man in the world after, after Khamenei get killed and all the official, actually top official of the Islamic Republic, which is they killed around 50 days ago more than 80,000 Iranian freedom fighter. I'm really happy about that. I'm feeling really happy. And about the, Israeli, the Jewish actually community here in UK, also in Israel and in Iran, they show real, solidarity that was between the Iranians long time ago, more than 2,000 years. But now we are, again, we gave the life again to this connection between us. I was last night in Golders Green, we celebrating Ayatollah's death. And I feel, I feel the joy between the Iranians and Jew in Golders Green is exactly in same level. And we are the family, we are same family. We long time history we was together, but the Ayatollah for 48 years, they trying hard to separating us. They're trying hard to separate Iranian people with the actually British people also. That to UK also also every Friday in praying they did that. As a child, I was in school. I did that also. But when you're growing up, you see what's going on. The Ayatollahs always spreading hate to the nation, to hate everyone.
Well, that's it. And now, of course, he's dead. And as you were talking about, Lily Mu, I was in Finchley. I was just down the road from where you guys were, and as you're saying this, the joy. And today you organised a large celebration in central London outside Whitehall. But the news that's just come in about the Ayatollah's son, that's big news. I don't know if people can really appreciate how large that news is, right?
So, well, like Nihat was saying, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was known in the Middle East as the Hitler of the Middle East, and he's had enough blood on his hands to be able to wash the earth a few times over. And his son is exactly one of the biggest instigators of his will over the past many decades in Iran, especially that this frail old Ayatollah, who was a grumpy old man who hated the life on earth and all humanity and just wanted to spread hate, couldn't have managed all of his toxic, evil acts against and terrorism against Iranian people and the region without the will and support of his son. And on top of that, there was always this fear that even if the Ayatollah is eliminated by either the Iranian people or by foreign interventions in acts of rescue of the Iranian people, such as the one we see right now at the incredible will and hands of the Americans, our Iranians' allies are the Americans and the Israelis today. And Iranian people will never forget this truth. For the past 47 years in Iran, in schools, from schools to marketplaces to the streets of Iran, the Ayatollah has painted pictures of death, bloodshed, and terrorism, slogans of Islamic terrorism, jihadism, around the entire beautiful country of Iran. And today, this man is no more. And today, we celebrated. We are overjoyed. It's not that Iranians are happy at the sound of death because we've been chanting death to America.
I think we can say, just on the screen there, I think we're seeing some missiles, we're seeing the drones, we're seeing the Israeli defense systems coming up. There are people in Israel right now who are with their families. They're in bunkers. Those bunkers have been, we saw terrible footage, have been hit. Civilians have died. And we also, of course, see the remnants of the regime targeting civilian populations.
Yes, I actually have something to say about that.
Please.
And one thing, just like Niak also mentioned earlier.
This is Jerusalem that we're looking at here.
One of the most heartfelt and soul-vigorating messages that we received from the world during the time of despair we've been experiencing at the hands of this regime was the messages coming from Israel, where pregnant women were packing their bags, getting ready to go to the shelters, and they said, we are willing to endure war if it means our brothers and sisters for 2,500 years will be finally free. So Iranian people are praying that the missiles fail and do not reach Jerusalem. Iranian people inside Iran are calling out and saying, Am Israel Chai, at the hands of a regime that could kill them for saying that beautiful sentence out loud. So we are all worried for our brothers and sisters in Israel. We are all worried for our brothers and sisters in the whole of Middle East who are getting targeted at the hands of this murderous regime. And we are hoping that IDF's might, capabilities, and expertise will destroy IRGC and all of their might soon enough before the next missile is going to be thrown or targeted anywhere outside of Iran.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, this regime doesn't only target our neighbors and our beautiful brothers and sisters in Israel. They also target civilians in Iran. Before any war opened in Iran during these modern days, 4 or 5 years ago, even during Mahsa revolution, they tested their ballistic missiles in areas that hit.
This is Tel Aviv. There's people can see the specks of light there. Those are missiles and I imagine the Iron Dome shooting them down, hopefully.
Hopefully, indeed. I do believe in the might of the Iron Dome. I have been to Israel 4 times. I've had the pleasure of visiting that wonderful land and hugging the people, eating the food. I know what it's like to suddenly have to run in the shelter. It's unpleasant, but the unity and the act of protection in place is incredibly inspiring, and the instant act of solidarity that keeps on happening amongst the people is unseen anywhere else.
There we go. This is a replay. I mean, Niak, people risking their lives they obviously are doing it partly out of self-interest because they know that the best chance for Israel, the best chance for all peace in the region, and so that there isn't the need for every Israeli to serve in the IDF, and this is a price that Israelis are obviously willing to pay. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be a price, and I'm not talking about boots on the ground from the UK, but just it seems like even from our government, we were standing together in front of Number 10 just a few hours ago, pleading with our government to take a stand, just a verbal stand. We're not talking about people risking their lives. Why do you think that Sir Keir Starmer's government hasn't taken this moral stand with the Iranian people?
Simple. They're scared.
Scared of what?
They're scared of the IRGC members who lives here in UK. They're scared of the terror. Actually, the group terror of the IRGC who made long time for 48 years. After the revolution happened in Iran, 1979, they start sending their. They have already here.
They've exported all the way here.
They have already lots of members who supporting Khomeini.
I've heard people say the UK is the second base.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
The Iranians, to be honest, I'm talking about the government. I'm not talking about the
Iranian people, the
British nation.
Yes.
I just talking about the government. Iranians inside Iran, they call government the father of Ayatollah Khamenei and father of Islamic Republic. Always when something uprising happen in Iran, always the Iranians waiting for the reaction of the government of UK. They always saying when UK government wants regime change going to be happen. Still, right now, still doesn't happen.
Still not taking a cab.
Exactly.
Well, look, you guys are going to be joining